make sure it's pulling the right mic. Yep, okay. Let's mute that. Ba 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 ba. Okay. Ba 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 ba. Mm. Let me know if you guys can hear me, because I'm getting a few things set up. Probably give people another couple minutes. Ba 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 ba. All right, I'm just gonna start because I don't have the same timetable that I thought I had tonight. I still have, I have a shorter, about half the time I thought I had. I was gonna try to do a half hour. I think I only have like 15 minutes. I wanted to walk through our level idea list, which we put out right here before the open. So we have AMC, Costco, DKNG, Docu, GME, and a couple others. Not all those will be talked about right now, but I wanted to give you guys examples of how to play the gaps because in the market that we're in, we're going to see a bunch of gaps after drawdowns like we just had. It's just the way I think the market's going to be trending for a little bit. We're going to be gapping around a little bit with these. I mean, NQ's been down 66. Their stocks have been down almost 50% from the highs, which is significant. I mean, it's not a massive pullback, but it is what it is. So I wanted to briefly touch on how to play these because I don't think we've really talked about it. I've said this in the past where we have our level ideas, which is like right here. So if we go, that's not what I wanted. If we go replay and go to here, this is basically what I'm seeing on the chart when I am setting up the levels the day before open right here, right? So DKNG, or this is Costco. So Costco didn't have a play. it invalidated because of the gap up. It did touch down here, but I mean, again, that's such a big bar, and I say I don't like to play big bars, so I'm not doing that. So Costco basically wasn't a play all day long. Um, one second, my kid's saying goodnight to me. Okay, sorry about that. So Costco's not really one we're going to look at. We are going to look at DKNG, which, where is GRK? I think he's still holding this, hoping for a pull all the way back up to, I think he said 44, so like right here, right? This nice little area here. It's just a small ways back, buddy. I like to rip on GRK when I can. GRK. All right. So the play, we gapped up a pretty decent amount, about $1.50. And there was no gap up prior to that. They had a nice couple big bars come into play the day before, but we did go inside on that because of this huge massive bar here. But we gapped up, and now let's go and look at this on the replay. So we're sitting here, and what are we doing? What's the strategy for a gap? You do not enter, because these levels on the level idea is automatically invalidated when it's a gap up. What we're looking to do is wait for that 30-minute open. You could probably do 15 if you wanted to be a little more sketchy, but I do this on 30 minutes. So 30-minute open, and then I use my fib tool, and I draw my fib, which is already drawn. And then, hang on, it's going to make me draw one because I can't see half my screen. Let's do that. That's a little bit better. Draw my fib tool, and now I'm looking for a couple things. I'm looking for it to break above, which confirms the gap up and go, as they say, so gap and go. Or I'm looking for a gap and crap. So the gap and crap is, some people wait until it breaks all the way down here, or just never breaks that high, and they have different entries. For me, it's a break of the 50% line. So what do we get? We get a break of the 50% line on the next 30-minute bar. So if you entered at 32.07, you'd capture, 31.96. Oh, boop, about a 31.49. So almost a 60-cent move in your direction. I need to be out of that trade. I mean, you need to be out of it taking profit at 31.60, most likely, if I'm trading it. So that's one winning trade. That's one way to trade the level ideas if they gap up, and similar to the gap down, just inversed. Right? Let's look at another example. Man, Doc, you poor thing. Doc, you just got pooped on all day. Okay. So we have GME here. GME had a shooter all the way up, so we went 2-2. We had a 2 up, 2 down move, which in itself is a great setup. And I haven't talked about this much because I want you guys to go and learn this from Rob. Rob Smith or Sarah on Twitter. We're gonna be, there's some cool stuff coming to our Discord with them, and not just our Discord, just me in general working with them, and some really cool stuff. So, anyways, we draw our fib on the first 30-minute. We break above, but we don't close above. So on these, I'm looking for closes. I'm not trying to play anything saucy. I'm not trying to get in and scalp or anything like that. I'm looking for a solid, patient move, which sometimes is very difficult on gaps. So right here, it looks like it's gapping and going, but it gaps and craps and comes back down with a 2 up, 2 down, and the confirmation of it going below that 50% line. So I'm in right here, 174.60, area and riding all the way down to 170. $4 move. $4.50 move if you held it all the way, which I probably wouldn't have. I probably would have sold right around here, which is 172. Fantastic move. I didn't look at premiums on GME. I know basically on every stock right now, implied volatility is insane. So let's keep that in mind when looking at this. Not all these would be 100% winners, but some of them would be. Did MS do anything? Yeah, MS did as well. So we had two gap and craps. Here's a gap and go. It's very straightforward. You have your 30-minute bar. You draw your fib. Guys, if you don't know how to draw this fib, by the way, hang on, let me do it this way. Gosh. Trading view sometimes not so intuitive. Okay. I knock out everything but 0, 1, and 0.5. And then I color them however I want to color them. It's really straightforward. And then I draw it. So on the opening 30, I draw it right here. And we get a close above. So you're looking at 102.50 with a high of 103.11. And on a stock like Morgan Stanley, those premiums are going 30%. And if you're not taking profit at 30%, I cannot help you. We did kind of break out a little bit more even than that. This might be a nice little swing. 102 was that little mark. But that's a gap and go. Not a super fast go by any means, but you really, if you entered here, you really were never losing money. So it was a nice 30% move on the premiums. Let's look at Microsoft. So Microsoft, another version of this gap and go. Draw that 30% or draw that fib on the 30-minute open. And it closed above here, so you're looking at 334.20-ish. Well, let's see. Close was 334.29, and then the high was $335 and about 70 cents. So again, 25%, 30% move, if not more. Again, depending on how the premiums were being crushed. But call side was moving. Put side was not moving today. If you took a put today and your stock moved 2 cents, it acted like the delta was twice that. Netflix, what did Netflix do today? Not much. Yeah, no gap or anything like that. I did play Netflix short on a 2 up, 2 down move, but that's for another live stream, another day. So QQQ, same thing. Gap and go. I think we played Orb on SPY. I'll take a look at that before I sign off here. So I've got, guys, are these rules pretty clear for you? I mean, it doesn't really get any more straightforward. Here is a gap and crap right here on spot. So you gap up, draw the 30-minute, and it craps down right here. So you're entered at 239.55, and you're riding it all the way down to 237.54. That's a $2 move, if not more. So it's very straightforward stuff. It's a very nice and easy way and calm way to be playing these gaps. You said, what about SQ? So SQ, we can look at this, see if it did anything for us. We go up here. Okay, draw our line. So you could have went short here for a nice little move. Let's see, 188.93 down to almost full dollar. That's definitely 10% move. So that's definitely a winner. The entry you could have taken if you have looked at any of Rob's stuff, and this is right at a distribution area. There's a 2 up, 2 down there, but because it gapped up, I probably would have just played the 30-minute gap strategy. And another thing that you can do, depending on how the volume's going, so like we have decreasing volume here, so I don't know that I would have taken that. I probably would have looked for a long above the 50% after it came down, and especially after it dojied like that. But it still was a winner downside. Again, very straightforward stuff. If you guys have questions about this, please let me know, because I want you guys to learn this, because I don't want to send out those level ideas and essentially have them invalidated just because of gaps. I want you guys still to be able to play them. And I will definitely try to alert this stuff in intranode, kind of take it from being a level idea and move it into more of an intraday move. Um, so I can definitely try to do that if that would help you guys. It's totally up to you. Any other questions before I sign off here? And obviously feel free to message me if you have questions about this certain strategy. Um, but again, I want you guys to be able to play the gaps because we often have a ton of gappers, especially in this market right now. Let's check on, before I sign off, let me check on our inside days. Could you post them, Fib Medics? What? You mean show you the settings for them? It's literally taking off everything but 0, 1, and 0.5. And it's just over, if you're using TradingView, I don't know what you guys use. If you use TrendSpider, I can't help you. But it's just a tool that's third from the top. So you go in here, and it's called Fib Retracement. Let's look at trade ticks. Scanny. Did he update yet? What's the date today? I don't even know what the date is. Yeah, he updated. That's not what I wanted. Wow, that's the only inside day today. That's how much stuff is gapped up. So let's look at Dow real quick. I know Dow spiked on the social sentiment side too. See, Dow kind of already gapped a little bit. It's filling that gap right now. So we got our inside day. High of 39.13, low of 37.77. Let's go and look at the flow. Dow's one of those things where I usually trade it and I lose when I trade it because it doesn't move fast. Yeah, see. That's a divergence, absolutely. But look how long it takes for that divergence to actually fill and converge. Let's look at the 5. And that's bearish. So let's look at the contracts. Put heavy. Yeah, definitely put heavy. More long term. Let's look at dark pool. So you got resistance up at the 38.60 level, support down at 37.30. Yeah, I'm pretty much staying away from this one. I mean, here's the upside, right? If it goes above the inside, that's your upside. It's like 20 cents. You could look more left and hope for better. When you have that neutral to bearish options flow, you can play it short side, but again, the short side's only 70 cents. So if you want to play that, I'm going to put this in level ideas, but I'm going to look for other setups as well. Because I mean, we had this inside day here on Dale. I don't think I alerted it. I'm not sure that I did. I don't remember. 36.67. You got to move up to about $1 move, and then it flushed back down. So you had a 2 up on red. Yeah. Yeah. So just be aware of that. Be aware of your upside and your downsides when you have an inside bars, because if you're looking left, it's kind of straight down here, right? So you have straight down move, and now you're kind of straight up. So if it falls, it could fall down to 35, 30 pretty quickly. But you really need to be careful with this kind of stock, especially as it being Delta, where it's one of those news-heavy stocks, depending on what JPOW says and all that stuff. So Shop ran big. Didn't we look at Shop? No, we didn't. We looked at Spot. Yeah. So here's why I don't like gaps. And people always mistake like failed breakouts as like gap ups or gap ups as failed breakouts. And I always tell people, I'm like, if the price doesn't start So like let's look at this. People will say, this is a breakout right here because price starts within this bar and breaks out. But this is not a breakout. It's a gap up. They're two completely different things. And people need to understand that because I see a lot of people on Twitter saying, "Oh, it's a failed breakout," and they're looking at a gap up that failed. I'm like, that's not a breakout. That's like if you're drawing a trend line this way, that's not a breakout. That's a gap above a trend line. They're two very different things, and the price action is two almost polar opposite. So just be aware of that because I don't want you guys getting duped into whatever. Now, if we have a day, like look at this. If we have a day on shop where we start inside this bar and we trade up above this, so we get a break above that, that's a breakout. You can trade that. But now I'm going on a tangent about that. Do you have a playlist or of the strat or recommend specific channels? Yeah, so I forget her channel. I'll put it in the Discord. Is what I'll do. It's Sarah Strat Sniper or whatever. Yeah, I'll put it in the Discord. So we looked at our normal level idea setups, and we only had one, which is Dal. Look at how green everything is. It's insane. Except for Dal. So that should tell you something. But what I'm going to be looking at is, that's a gap, gap up, gap up. I'm going to be trying to find a couple of different potential breakouts if we're going to keep going up, which everything is indicated that it is. So here's the thing I want you guys to be aware of, and it's something I'm testing. This is the last thing I'll say before I sign off. So as we move forward in Discord and as I teach more and as I can upload more, I'm going to be teaching you guys the strat more in depth. But today I was watching NVIDIA, right? We had a gap up. And again, I hate gap ups in general, but they happen a lot. So we're kind of chuggy here, and we fall down, obviously, because the market fell down. Doji'd, which is a great bullish sign. And then, so it's a 2 down, doji, bullish. And then you have a 2 up, 2 up, gap up. But I'm not going to get too technical about it. So let's just say you have 2 up. Normally, you'd enter, if this started inside this bar, you'd enter here, 302. But because of the gap up, it almost becomes a play of looking for continuation. So what you're looking for now is a continuation above 335 area. So you're looking for a 2-2 volume rev. So tomorrow, what to look out for is if NVIDIA can get above this volume right here, and get above and go up again, have another 2 up day. That's when you'd like to start swinging and looking for a new uptrend. But I'm not ready really to implement that into the into the room. I mean, you can find it down here kind of. So like, let's look down here, right? You have your 2 down day, you have 2 inside days, and then you have a 2 up that doesn't really break any resistance. And then you kind of go sideways a little bit up, a little bit trendy. But those the 2-2 volume revs, I think I've talked about this before on my YouTube. I've talked about the 2-2 volume revs where you have a 2 down, 2 up move on the daily. But then the next day you have this increased volume on a 2 up. So immediately, if you entered here, which I tell you to do, 206, what's the close? Close is 207. So you're entering at 207 and you gap up to 210 and then you start this new uptrend. Now, it doesn't happen like that every time, but it's on stocks like NVIDIA where they're splitting, they're growing. Apple's been carrying the market on its back for a long time. So stocks like that, I'm going to try to start alerting, but I want to get you guys familiar with the concepts first. So that's just something to look forward to. All right, guys, that's it. I thank you so much for stopping by. If you have questions about how to play the gaps, let me know. I'm here to answer them. Just to reiterate one more time, let the 30-minute open, draw your fib, and wait for a break of the levels. That's it. All right, guys.